Hey everybody, this is Talkative Carl, back again for another spoiler review. This one's a third anime that I included, uh, One Punch Man. I've just been really craving to rewatch this again. This is actually my second go around watching this. The first time I actually watched this was on Toonami. I think it was what? Well, I think I watched season two way back in 2019, but I think a year prior to that I watched season one, mostly because I had no real interest in this anime before. I mean, I heard tales about it from other people, but mostly because like when on I think it was Superpower Beatdown, I just randomly saw maybe on my Facebook feed or something like that of this Saitama. I didn't know who Saitama was. I just knew this was One Punch Man. Everybody was sitting there raving about for so long. Never knew why. And then I see like Saitama just wailing on Superman, and it's like just I'm not gonna spoil anything just in case you've never seen it, but other stuff I see him, just like murking fools with relative ease, and it's like, okay, what is this guy all about? Like, why, like, people just love him so much, and why he just seems like the most, why do people think he's the most OP character ever, and think he can beat Superman and all these other Superman like characters. So I saw it was on Toonami. I figured, okay, I'm already like watching some Toonami anyway. It's on. It's like, okay, let's see this. Let's see what this anime is all about. My expectations were middle. I want to say it's like low, but it's like I was like eager to see what the hype was all about, and the hype was, you know, uh, you know, was right. There's a right amount of hype that people was giving out that I understood immediately after the pilot, and that's funny. It's like it's not always the pilot that really sucks you in. It's very I won't say it's rare, but it's like at least almost half and half where a pilot might suck a person in, depending on how well the writing is. Usually, most people, it usually takes about at least 2 or 3 episodes in to be invested in a show. This particular show is like one of those few that is like the Loki series uh or the first episode of Yu-Gi-Oh or Pokemon, that's like, or even Brooklyn Nine-Nine, is the uh two shows that I can think of off the top of my head that pilots definitely sucked me into the show immediately. This one is definitely right up there, cause yeah, uh this is a guy who's a hero for fun. He and right at the beginning, you can see this creature called Vaccine Man. It's a parody on, if the boys were a parody on superheroes or comics, this would be like the parody of anime. And you can tell because as soon as I saw the pilot and I see this Vaccine Man, I was like, holy crap, he's ripping off Piccolo? He's like straight up Piccolo until he like transforms in his second form. And, you got this, character, Saitama, saving this girl from Vaccine Man. And he's going, how like certain anime villains going on this little diatribe, or, you know, like, they got me monologuing. And he was monologuing. And like, Saitama didn't even like, he got this nonplus attitude, or this like just like so melancholy. It's like about, it's like, He's just like, he's not even like, like, am the mother us child. Uh, Humanity is poisoning my mother. Blah blah blah. And then it's like one punch, bow. Turn to like just paste. And you'll see a lot of that. But yeah, that was just the first episode. Man, it's like the show is about Saitama, but it's also more so slightly about the people around Saitama. You got Genos, the cyborg, who is a cool character in and of itself. Who apparently his family and city were attacked by this cyborg. I guess it was like it's not even like a murderous rampage. It is just attacked, critically wounding him, but killed almost like pretty much his entire family and most of his town. There's Dr. Susanoo, who by request of Genos, turn him into a cyborg so that way he can exact revenge on the cyborg. Hey Nick, who exact revenge on the cyborg who, killed his family. And on a side note, there's a lot of jokes made by about Genos who doesn't seem like, and I get to understand watching the series so far. I will get into season 2 eventually, but there's the memes and jokes about Genos that he's never actually won a fight on his own. He's always come up short, which I find very sad. It's like, because he looks like he should be like a powerhouse. Maybe not on the level of Saitama, but he's an S-class hero for a reason. We'll get to the level of classes in a minute. But his design is so freaking cool looking. I love the look of Genos. It's like similar to how Cyborg from DC Comics, the way he looked in Teen Titans, the good Teen Titans in early mid 2000s. As far as that look is concerned, it's right up there. Is how I put it as far as like cool looking cyborgs. Genos looks badass, and and then every few episodes he gets certain upgrades after he gets seriously damaged. And there was this one moment when he was trying to take down this meteor that's about to plummet to and destroy like a city-wide and plus destruction damage. He started using this like briefcase that it's kind of like very Iron Man-esque, 90s Iron Man cartoon with a suitcase armor. It's kind of reminiscent of that, where it's like it opens up and it attaches to his arms, and he's like, he get these little metal whiskers. It's kind of like Naruto a bit. His little metal whiskers form around his cheeks, and he takes out his like pretty much like an arc reactor heart. I can't really describe it anything else, but he takes it out, applies it to his arm, and he uses it as added power to just fire this awesome beam that takes off a good chunk of the meteor, but not enough to where it dissipates. But man, it's just like badass to see. But anyway, when we first meet Genos, he is going after this mosquito woman. Maybe her name was Mosquito Girl. But anyway, it's like half mosquito, half woman, who apparently came from this mad doctor. This from the House of Revolution, or House of Evolution. Yeah, House of Evolution. This is a mad doctor who's pretty much splicing animals and people or whatever he can get his hands on. And he looks like he can easily take care of this monster who is susceptible to fire, which he can easily blast, or at least have beams that blast out high intensity heat. And he takes out most of the mosquitoes in in a big wide radius, but she managed to like hang on barely, and goes and I guess utilizes surrounding animals as, because she used blood as sustenance, and it like heals her. So now she's like even more dangerous and starts ripping Genos apart until Satsuma steps in, and because he's earlier trying to take care of like this mosquito that he desperately trying to kill, but it's like, and it's like, dude's strength is intense. He can't even hurt himself. You would think he can at least hurt himself, and he's sitting there like the force he's impacting just to squash this thing is like, wham, wham. He's standing like perfectly still. It's like the intensity in his eyes. And on a side note, as I looked this up, the fact that the voice actor for Saitama, the English voice actor, don't know about the Japanese, but he, because most of the time Saitama has this like, kind of dumbest look on his face. It's like this like lofty kind of like look on his face, very Forrest Gumpish. And he talks, just regular like this, like just talk, just regular. Oh, I want to get some more Wutons. Yeah, but then when he because that's how the artist loves drawing Saitama, and during the few moments when he has to draw him serious, you get this intense look on his face, and like very distinct drawings, and very accentuate the muscular frame of Saitama, and then the voice actor gets very intense. It's like, you and me both. Finally, maybe you can handle one of my punches. Let's do this. And it's like, it just like feeds into the overall badassness of Saitama. It's just like, because like we'll get into his like, abilities soon, but after he takes out the mosquito girl with like one swap, and she just like turns to just a Picasso painting up against the side of a building. It was nothing, and like Genos witnessing this extraordinary ability, because there's very few people who actually know Saitama's true power. For right now, Genos knows, but as the season goes on, you get like Bang or Bong. I think Bang's the proper way, and then there's like a few other people along the way, so far as know his true strength. But he has to be his disciple, trying to get stronger in order to be a better hero and take down the cyborg who killed his family. And it's a funny moment when like Genos going over his backstory and typical anime stuff, going over this long kind of backstory where you can cut it like in half very easily. Is Saitama just freaks out like, oh my god, can you just break it down for 20 words or less? It's like when first time I saw that, I laughed my ass off. That was so damn funny. It's just like I said, it's complete satire on like like Saitama just takes the piss out of anime, the typical anime tropes, and I love it. Then you meet like certain other heroes like Tank Top Tiger, who is like I think like a C-class hero. Oh, and just so you know, like while we're on the subject, they eventually sign up for like the superhero registry, which is like a organization. That it's kind of like, it's not that dissimilar to My Hero Academia, who has like an organization built for deploying superheroes as long as it's kind of like Superhero Registration Act. But unlike that, like the Superhero Registration Act in Marvel, unlike that where they, that Superhero Registration Act is forcing a lot of heroes for that certain time period back in the day. This one's like, you can freely sign up. You can get paid, for your work depending on the level of, because they have like these trials, and depending how well you do determines what class of hero you are set in, and then you can easily build your way up the more hero work you do, or how well you handle a situation, like a particular threat that is typically would be outside your league. uh uh Class hero. I'm gonna make sure I got this right so I don't mince words here. Okay. So hero rank. Let's see here. That's not her. It doesn't give me like a particular one, at least page here. I'm on the wiki here just so I can get here. And there's a lot of, some fun looking characters, and then there's some cool looking characters. The fun looking characters are usually like maybe like B class and below, but the more badass ones are A and above. So you got uh unregistered heroes, unknown class, C class, B class, A class, and S class. uh Now, S class, the strongest and most prestigious class of hero, for the Hero Association. Every hero in the S class is equivalent to an emergency army division. This class was originally created to gather individuals who, despite their low ranking, were capable of defeating disaster-level demon mysterious beings on their own. The current high class S class hero is Blast. There are currently 17 heroes in this particular class, the lowest amount members out of all the classes. So you got Blast, Tornado of Terror, who I love, I'll get to soon. Bang, Silver Fang, Atomic Samurai, Child Emperor, Metal Knight, King, Zombie Man, Drive Knight, Pig God, Super Alloy Dark Shine, Watchdog Man, Flashy Flash, Demon Cyborg Genos, and Metal Bat. Oh, and Tank Top Master and Puri Prisoner. We'll get to him in a minute. Holy crap! Then we got A class heroes, the second strongest class of the four classes. When a hero reaches rank 1 in B class, they can climb up to A class. Heroes in this class are capable of defeating disaster-level tiger mysterious beings alone, and are also considered very popular. The current highest ranked A class hero is Sweet Mask. There are currently 38 heroes in this class. I'm trying to avoid any spoilers for its second season, because eventually we'll get to that soon. But we got Sweet Mask, Ion, Akamaichi, Bushy Drill, Heavy Tank Loincloth, Blue Flyer, Magic Trick Man, Death Gatling, Tank Top Veteran, Stinger, Twin Tail, Great Philosopher, Butterfly DX, Genji, Lightning Max, One Shotter, Green, Crescent Eyebrow, Golden Ball, Smile Man, Spring Mustachio, Narcissistoic, Peach Terry, Forte, Shadow Ring, Doll Master, Feather, Air, Chain and Toad, Biting Snake Fist Snack, or Snack, and Heavy Kong. When they sign up for the hero registry, they meet like one of the proctors, which is Snack, who is like, grandstanding kind of dude, but supposed to be considered, he puts himself as like a superior fighter, and gets, butt handed to him by Saitama, trying to do hazing on him. Then we got B class heroes, the third strongest class out of the 4 classes. When a hero reaches rank 1 in C class, they can climb up to B class. Heroes in this class do not have to perform weekly heroic acts to fulfill any quotas, like C class do, and are also capable of defeating disaster level wolf mysterious beings by themselves. The current highest ranked B class hero is Fubuki. There are currently 101 heroes in this class. There's Fubuki Blizzard of Hell, Eyelashes, Mountain Ape, Wild Horn, Saitama, Glasses, Pink Hornet, Double Hole, Smell Master, Gun, Butcher, Jet Nice Guy, Needle Star, Pico, Crying Man, Trap Tengu, Captain Mizuki, Lily of the 3 section staff, Bone, Tank Top Black Hole, Mushroom, Shooter, Darkness Blade, Pineapple, and Recluse Samurai. Then we have C class, the lowest and the least strong class out of the 4 classes. Although C class heroes are the weakest, their strength exceeds that of an average person. When a hero enters the association, they normally begin here. C-class heroes must perform weekly heroic acts to fulfill their quotas, otherwise they are removed from the hero registry. The current highest C-class hero is Moomin Rider. There are currently 390 heroes in this class, the most numerous out of all the classes. Moomin Rider is an amazing character, despite being like a supporting character. He just has that, Captain America spirit about him that makes you love him. Moomin Rider, I think it's kind of like a parody on maybe Ghost Rider a bit, but with kind of like an ethos of Captain America. Strings Binding Shell, Tank Top Tiger, D-Pad, Funeral Suspenders, Food Battler Futushi, Battery Man, Red Muffler, Armored Chief Clerk, Gear Spur, Gas Mask Cowboy, Grave 8, Ecolo G, Monocross, Dynamite Man, Angry Man, Horsebone, Studless, Poison, Bun Man, Hayotoko, Saturn Man, Red Nose, Ironet, Lecture Man, Meat Pounder, Jesus, Mochin, Rabbit, Shoulder Pads, Swim, and Water Gun. Then also the unknown class, heroes whose class and rank are unknown, like Custom Hero, Gunma, Panda Man, Tank Top Al Dente, Tank Top Doctor, Tank Top Girl, Tank Top Hatter, Tank Top Jungle, Tank Top Mask, Tank Top Racer, Tank Top Rockability, and tank top swimmer. I did not realize there was so many tank tops. I only know like the 4 of them that's been shown on the show, the entire series that I've seen so far. But holy crap, I guess it's like a whole family of these people. Uh, Former heroes A class, serial bomber, and former hero C class, grade school graduate, and all backman. And then there's of course the unregistered heroes. Unregistered heroes are regarded as weirdos by the Hero Association and do not get any credits or mentions in any media. There are currently no known unregistered heroes. However, Saitama and Genos previously did unregistered hero work in the past. Often civilians will do and help heroes with hero work, like when Atomic Samurai asked for the help from the members of the Council of Swordsmasters to defeat Garo, or Bomb helped Bang and Genos to fight against Garo, Elder Centipede, and other mysterious beings from the Monster Association, and later save other defeated heroes. So, those are the classes. But then while we're doing this, I want to make sure we get to the disaster level threats. Okay. Okay. Dealing with certain threats, depending on the class you're in, determines the threats they can handle. Uh, okay, here we go. All right, I was looking for the chart. Okay. All right, there's our 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 levels here. You got below wolf, a threat so weak that it is even below wolf. The only known being to be this level so far is Monster Chickman. So it's very very, very, very low tier, like somewhere like a C class or below hero can easily deal with. Then there's wolf. Parents of a being or a group that might pose a threat. Based on the official comparative scale, the average wolf threat requires 3 C class heroes or 1 B class hero to defeat. So okay, then we got Tiger, a threat endangering the lives of a great number of people. Based on the official comparative scale, the average Tiger threat requires 5 B class heroes or 1 A class hero to defeat. Then you got Demon class, a threat endangering a whole city or its infrastructure. Based on the city comparative scale, the official comparative scale, the average demon threat requires 10 A class heroes or 1 S class hero to defeat. Then you got threat level Dragon, a threat endangering multiple cities. Then God, a threat endangering the survival of all humanity, or just the global scale. So, that's kind of like threats you usually at the see, or at least when they mention throughout the series, if you hear them, like, because there's like each city has like a big speaker or intercom calling out, like, because Saitama lives in like city Z, and there's like city A and all the other letters. I think city Z is like the biggest one. But when you hear somebody mentions over intercom, something like evacuate the city, threat level threat level tiger. So like when they make the announcements, they say, okay, A class heroes, A or B class heroes needed for threat level tiger, and whomever's a hero in that class in the surrounding area, try to assist. If there's any other heroes that's lower than those classes that might be around, they might help with the evacuation or in some capacity, and that is notated, or documented. So they might get it. There's a point system, like at least it's kind of like Pokemon and an experience share, where the other Pokemon don't defeat the main Pokemon that you're dealing with, or all of them as a whole. But if they participate in any way, they get some bonus points to their record. So eventually that builds up, and they eventually will at some point qualify to upgrade. But yeah, as moving forward, excuse me, in the next couple of episodes, Saitama's house gets attacked by these creatures, these monsters coming from like the House of Evolution, from this mad doctor who managed to clone himself repeatedly. He just has no. At a certain point, he kind of had like zero empathy for humanity. He's just like one of those kind of mad scientists that's like all about, it's kind of like Mr. Sinister in a way from the X-Men, if I can use that as an example. He loves like experimenting on creatures and humans to build better beings that he's more particularly fond of. Saitama and Genos dealt with these creatures very easily. Then they move towards this House of Evolution to, mostly because Saitama wants to see if there's any stronger opponents inside, see if he can, because the point in the entire series, Saitama really wants, after he trains so much to be like a hero for fun, he kind of like reached to a point where he has no equal. He wants the thrill of a good battle, and he can't seem to. He always gets disappointed when he manages to defeat an opponent with just a single punch. Nobody's able to handle more than one punch from Saitama, which is kind of like, he always screams like, "Damn it!" He's just like he's like so distraught, and hoping to find like a possible like a opponent that he actually can mix it up with. He goes there, and this scientist, realizing that, well, these two people are that he wants them captured so he can study them. He pulls out like the big guns. Apparently, this beetle-like creature, who's one is like the most biggest threat he ever created. He brings them out, let him know that he wants these two brought to him. Figured that he should be strong enough to handle these two. Then, as this beetle creature brought, or at least, told them to like come to this big white rooms. It's very like kind of like an inside of a Rubik's Cube kind of area, where they can actually duke it out with some free space. As Genos tried to attack him, he's not doing much damage, if any, towards this creature. Saitama then steps up, and as the beetle creature tried to take a swing at him, before he managed to do any kind of connecting, he immediately senses something and just books it, retreats way back against the wall, and shocking the scientist. It's like he's never retreated from an opponent before, and like the beetle creature just like screams like, "Dude, what the hell are you? Some kind of freak?" And because like you hear his inner monologue in his head, it's like I knew if I tried to hit him, I was dead. Like he sensed the fact that one more inch closer, he knew he was gonna die. And he's like, him and the scientist like asking, like, okay, how did you get this strong? And then Saitama was like, okay, you want to know how I got this way? Like everybody's ears perk up. And when I first saw this episode, like I was very interested because like nobody spoiled this for me, luckily. So like my ears perked up too because I was like glued to the TV. Like, okay, he's gonna tell us, and it's like, and no joke, I laughed my ass off. It's like, how do you put it? God, it was so freaking funny. Like it's like 1 million push-ups, 1 million sit-ups, 100 squat. No, like 100 push-ups, 100 sit-ups, 100 squats, plus a 10-kilometer daily run. Do it every single day. And it's like they all looking like all super like that's just basic training. And then it's like you see his backstory as like he explains that he actually did do this according to his backstory. Like if you do his push-ups, don't stop until you complete the 100. He went outside and like even when his bones felt like creaking and like it was hurting on the joints, he kept on doing it till you make the 100. He did that same thing with the sit-ups, squats, and then he did 10-kilometer run every day, and he did that for 3 years straight. He only ate a banana, one for breakfast, one for lunch, and dinner. And he laid in, and when he rested, he does when it's hot outside, don't mess with the AC. You deal with the heat. When it's cold outside, don't turn up the heat. You lay in that cold. It is to test your mind and inner willpower, and it was like and like the doctor, Dr. Jennings, that's what the doctor for the House of Evolution name is. He theorized that after hearing this, he believes it's possible that through all this very intense training that he went through for these 3 years, it's possible that he removed his own limiter in the process, which could explain why he's doing these extraordinary physical feats. Even though he can't fly or shoot energy beams, like his, just like his physical capabilities as a human being are just possible without any limit. Whereas like he can easily take out somebody with a single punch because he is that strong, and it's just like there's no recoil to his own body. Usually when like like you squeeze like a ball, and like when we squeeze hard enough, you feel like a little pain in your hand. It's like the inner muscles and senses in your brain is telling you to stop or it's gonna hurt yourself. At that point, for a Saitama, he can squeeze that ball until it turned to dust. It's nothing to him. He's just like it was at that point, and like nobody believes him and everybody thinks he's like just keeping the secret to himself at this point, and it's like, I don't know, man. It's like, well, at this point, why would you think he's lying? It's like he doesn't carry himself as like a liar. Uh, but uh, and it's like a funny moment when it's like, the beetle creature just like decides, okay, I'm just gonna try to, goes to his second form and turns this big beast, and it's like he mentions like when he's in this form, he goes on a savage rampage for a week. And after he like kills Saitama, he'll go to the nearest town and just wreak havoc until he goes back to his previous form. And then Saitama is like, oh no. He said about a week, and it's like, and he meant like today. That means today's Saturday. He's going to go through a rampage all the way up till the next Saturday. That means today is, something about a coupon Saturday deal, something like that, and he just like pulverizes with one punch that beetle creature, and it's like freaking out because he completely forgot about like deal at the grocery store. He all about like because he's not a penny pincher, but it's kind of like he knows how like survive on less kind of situation. As you can see, like in his apartment, it's relatively small. I'm not sure if that's how like certain Japanese apartments are, but it's relatively small, and so he just got like not a tiny TV, but it's like no smaller than like your normal size computer monitor, but he's just content with that. So they go off to like because Janice mentions like the store closes at 10 p.m. So if they hurry, we can still make the deal. So they just rush off after defeating this creature and to head to the supermarket. This is just like a funny, just take the piss out of the intensity of the moment, or supposed intensity of the moment. Yeah, and then he meets up with this other supporting character. It's supposed by this juncture, he's a villain slash rival to, or at least a self-proclaimed rival to Saitama. This ninja, Speed of Sound Sonic, was a cool character in his own right. Where he moves like by the speed of sound, and he's got like this arrogance about him. It's like a combination of Vegeta and Sasuke in a way. It's just like the level of arrogance and just badassery. But he's a mercenary slash assassin, and as he's trying to take down this guy, this is like leader of this little I won't say cult, but it's kind of like this dude who's just trying to form like his own little gang, wearing these little knockoff Iron Man suits that don't do jack squat, but except like increase your strength slightly. And as soon as like Speed of Sound started to lop off the heads of his supporters, he just like lopping off heads. It was like, wow, he was like whap 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 whap. The heads is like popping off. They're all bald, mind you. So you see these bald heads just popping off these bodies, and the only person left is the leader. And he just like hightail it. Well, he tried to hightail it out of, but first he tried to take him on, and unsuccessfully, throwing all these boulders at Sonic, and he just like easily dodges it, and like he nails him with a kunai, but because according to him, he got such a thick head, it protected him from a deadly blow. So he hightailed it out there, ran as far as he could, bumps into Saitama. Saitama just like I think like a slight elbow blow, blew off the entire armor, and like he just turns to the whittling little coward. He's like, "Look, man, I just did it. Just get off of working." And he's like, Saitama, just get the hell out of here. It's like he started running in the woods butt naked and screaming, it's crying out for his mom. And it's like, "Mommy, you're right. I promise I'll get a job." It was so freaking funny. It's like I just love it when Saitama just take the piss out of everybody. It was so dang funny, and he runs into Sonic, and Sonic tries to like just take him out, uh, and it was just like a funny moment when it's like he tried to use the speed to like come at Saitama from behind, but he just like you see this little motion where he just like turns around and just like it's kind of like what you saw in Justice League when Flash tried to use super speed on Superman that just rose from the dead. Spoilers, and like you see like Superman just eyes just glaze over, looked at him and started use his speed to keep up. That's pretty much Saitama on Sonic, where it's like he just like turns his head and like, yeah, I caught you. It's like your speed is like nothing. It was a one moment in an episode, I forgot which episode, where it's like he does these side steps. I think he did it once in training for the Hero Association, and another. I'm thinking of the second time I think he did it, and he does these side steps where he makes after images of himself, and I think he did it against Sonic, and Sonic is just like bewildered that he's not that fast at all to the point where he's leaving after images of himself, and it was crazy speed that Saitama has, and then like Sonic still try to come at him, and it's like Saitama's fist was already just in the air, and it's like Sonic, the way he positioned himself is like you see like the point like the slow mo, but it's like his junk just landed right on his fist. It's like it wasn't like he purposely tried to throw his fist against his nuts, but it's just like it was just already right there, and it's like I thought like at first I thought like that should have just turned him into pace. Just by, I don't even think he'll have like a moment to think about how much that's gonna hurt before he's just turned to a bloody mess. But he survived. But he's sitting there like twitching his legs and is like wheezing a bit, and it's like, "I'll return and we'll finish this," and he's just like hobbling off. And Saitama was like trying to pause it. Look, man. I didn't mean to. Like my fist was already like in position, and you just kind of like landed there. And and then the fight even engaged because Sonic thought because he's bald, he's part of the little group that he was taking down. But that was just like a funny interaction. One of the funniest, probably my favorite interactions between Saitama and Sonic. It was just so freaking funny. It's just like just to see like the slow mo of his grass landing on his fist. It was so dang funny. Oh my god. But then eventually Genos and Saitama decide to like sign up for the Hero Association so they can be more notable heroes instead of just doing like pretty much like side gig kind of hero work without getting kind of like equity or like well, it's not in it for the money, but it's kind of like the notoriety so they can become like well established heroes and stuff like that. And as they sign up, they participate in the physical test and the written test. Of course, General aced the both physical and the written test. Being a cyborg, he's obviously like top of the charts. So he's immediately like low tier S class. And Saitama is I think like mid tier C class. He's definitely in the C class area. He eventually gets up to low class B, low tier B class eventually by the halfway through this season. But when he's done all these physical tests, like the jumping, lifting weights, the strength test, whack-a-mole. For some reason they have whack-a-mole there, and he just dominates and destroys all the machinery and wrecking the ceiling and the ground, and like just obliterating everybody at the like a race around the track. And it's like he just dominating the physical tests like left and right. So that's why he's a high tier of a C as he is, because he at least had like high marks on the physical to outweigh the written one. So Saitama, like if you give him any kind of weakness, which is kind of like nitpicking at this point, he's very intuitive, but as far as like intelligence concerned, he's not like a full blown scientist at all. So that's why his written stuff is not as impressive. He loses against eating competition against Genos, because Genos is an artificial stomach, I think, and Saitama still got a still normal human working stomach. So he's only can eat so much. So as far as weakness is concerned, that's probably the only two I can think of that like. And then also he can't shoot like energy beams or fly, so he's only, if there's any limit, he's only limited to his own physical prowess, which is already substantial and godlike. So it's kind of like, well, it's kind of like the whole saying like God doesn't give with both hands kind of situation. There's this like nice little mini arc. It's like 3 episodes where these sea creatures are starting attacking the city. It was like a jury evening, bordering on about to rain, and all these A-class, well, it's not all, but like at least like a handful of A-class heroes are just like easily, well, not easily, they're able to handle these creatures coming in on into the city, but they still are struggling a bit, because they're probably like on their level as far as strength is concerned, but they're just enough to handle them. But then you get the Deep Sea King, this overall powerhouse of a monster that's just knocking fools left and right. And nobody knew that because he's obviously amphibian, he gets stronger and faster when he gets wet. When it starts to rain, he's just like, twice as strong and twice as fast, and he is like pummeling even like a single S-class hero at this point. Is when like Putty, keep want to say Putty Princess, but the way they sound like pronounce is like pretty. Because of the next encounter between Sonic and Saitama lands Sonic in prison, and eventually they break out of jail during this commotion, and I guess he was, I don't know if they were cellmates or prisoner, not princess. I keep want to say prisoner. I mean princess for some reason, because the way he's behaving, I think he's he can easily claim him to be homosexual the way he's carrying himself. So this is big, it's kind of like the size of Terry Crews in a way. He's an S-class rank 17 hero technically, but he's very flamboyant, openly homosexual hero. He's kind of like it's kind of like a sexual predator in a way. the way he's like he goes after pretty looking male heroes and criminals, and eventually they kind of let him into prison. But his kind of power is kind of like reminiscent of of Sailor Moon transformation, because uh it's called like pretty prisoner angel style. Uh uh he increases body muscle mass and strength. Uh 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 is always like angel dash, angel crawl, angel hug, uh pity patter. Uh uh it's just the some of his moves kind of reminiscent of Jotaro from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure with like Star Platinum's Aura Auras. Uh, but his transformation, he got like angel wings, and it's like it goes like these Technicolor silhouettes. It's kind of like very Sailor Moonesque, moon like very Sailor Moonesque, and it was like, but when he like transform, he goes completely naked, and the sun just like, oh god, I don't want to look at this. It's very like odd. I mean, it's odd. It's like I don't want to make it, seem like it's odd. It's just like the way they portray it is like super super flamboyant, and I can easily see why he's an S-class hero, given his rank. But of course, eventually, DC King like handed his ass. He beat him up. And then Sonic, being arrogant as he is, thinking like, oh, like I can, even though he doesn't have his weapons, even though he tried to come back with his weapons, it was already over. But during that fight, he learns about like because of the rain, he's getting him wet. He's coming after him much faster than Sonic eventually, and he eventually get away. But it was eventually becoming too much for a lot of heroes, and General's trying to take him as much as he was doling out the punishment. As soon as that rain hits the Deep Sea King, he just dominates again. I'm sitting there screaming like, keep him out of the rain. But then Moomin Rider, God bless him, he tried to, it's kind of like Captain America, I can do this all day thing, but then he just like gets his ass laid out once again. It's almost like worse than Genos in a way. At least Genos can actually put up a fight. Moomin Rider is just like, and it's like he talks with Saitama earlier, where it's like he's trying to give Saitama a ride to the battle, and he's like, I'm rank C class, blah blah blah, whatever. Like, it's okay, you can laugh at me if you want. Everybody does. And Saitama's like, why would I laugh? And it's like, because they both technically are C class at this point, and it's like, they formed this little bond of friendship between each other. I think Moomin Rider is one of the few people who knows about Saitama's true level of strength. But it was just like, man, like, Moomin Rider's heart. I mean, like he like, it's like one of those people that knowing he's gonna get his ass whooped. It's like the whole saying goes, like, it's not about the size of the dog in a fight, it's about the size of the fight in the dog. And that's portrays Moomin Rider perfectly. I mean, like, I love Moomin Rider's heart. It's kind of person that like Captain America would love to train, to like, get him up to uh, some at least somewhat of a peak fighting condition to be able to handle himself. Like Captain America will love this guy. I'm just saying, he will love this character. Uh, but Saitama souls up to the battle, and Decent King try to wallop his head, and it goes like, and it's nothing. You see the shockwaves when he gets hit, and it's like it does no effect on Saitama, and Saitama just like blap, and just punches a hole right through Deep Sea King, and his crown just gets knocked off, and it's like dead silence. And then eventually the crowd, there was like a building housing a lot of people who are evacuating or trying to find some refuge away from the battle, and DC King was trying to like kill them. Genos, Moon Rider, and Saitama was trying to do everything they can to keep him away from these people. And then there's one little smuck out of that crowd. There's always that one that's like you talking crap about, like, who knows? Maybe the other guys softened them up, or maybe they wasn't as strong as they's coming as they claim to be. Like, given the fact that this monster was literally about to kill a lot of you guys, but these heroes trying to was the only thing standing between him and you, and it's just like he's just talking crap, saying like, oh, is even like the monsters wasn't as strong as he claimed to be, or they just or the heroes are you're just soft or whatever. He's just and then he's just behaving like were nothing. And then even though the crowd saw the strength of Saitama, that one smell kind of like having them second guess what they clearly saw in front of them. Well, because of the ordeal, it's kind of like everybody involved kind of rolls up the ranks a little bit. But I think it was like before all that, or at least after. I can't remember which one came before or after. There was that meteor I was mentioning earlier that was threat level God almost, because the devastation was, God's the global area. This is more like a demon or dragon. No, it's dragon, because it was going to cause not planetary scale damage, but multiple city-wide scale damage. So Bang, who was there, but it was only like he wasn't like able to like be able to stop a meteor, because he's not able to fly. If he was able to fly, he might have done something, given his martial arts skill prowess is pretty much like an elderly Iron Fist or Shang-Chi kind of fighter. Very, a big, well-respected master of martial arts. Genos and Metal Knight show up to battle. Metal Knight is just showing up in like a remote control drone of an armor, and try to test out some missiles and other armaments, just to see if the level of destruction he can use to take on a threat that's huge. But it didn't do much, and he mentioned that I guess the potency wasn't great enough, so he just sends a signal to his drone or robot, and just like took off. I was like, well, I did what I could, and there's nothing else I can do. And then Genos like just frustrated the fact that this guy is not going to team up to help deal with this threat. So Genos used that arm cannon, didn't do much, but then Saitama comes in, jumps really high, smashes that meteor, but unfortunately it didn't like turn into dust or like harmless dust. It like kind of breaks off into smaller chunks that still cause minimum damage to the city, but it could have been a whole lot worse. And then of course, like the crowd turns on him because of Tank Top Tiger and his brother. black hole, tank top black hole, because tank top Tyra, earlier in the season, you know, uh, got humiliated by Saitama. Pretty much like did like a bitch move and went to go tell his older brother on him, and uh, uh, of course, Saitama just just stood there and just like listened to these people just like calling him like, a creep, monster, or whatever like that, because, uh, uh, the devastation is still, a lot of homes are still wrecked, but not acknowledging the fact that you wouldn't have a city to even rebuild, let alone, uh, 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 at all if it wasn't for this guy. I mean, like I said, because Saitama helped, he was able to like rank up to low rank B class, and Genos got a little high. Genos and Meta Knight got a little higher in the S class tier. Uh, but Bong or Silverfang, who was there, just witnessing like, just the level of disrespect, these people are giving this man who saved a lot of their homes or in possibly their lives. And it's like, he thinks to himself he could step in, but it's like just some kind of, it's a weird thing. Like, it's like a cross you gotta bear. It's like, what kind of level of logic? I mean, like, the way he describes it, I'm kind of butchering it, but what I'm gaining from that, it's like, you just let him like just bear it. It's kind of like, being a hero isn't, you shouldn't like have to do it for glory kind of situation, but it's kind of like, some of y'all need to step in and defend him. Jones tried to, but it's like, Saitama says something I can't recall, but it's kind of like he likes to brush things off, or at least deflect, or just, he takes it in stride. He really does not let things affect him in that particular way, but because he doesn't care about the glory necessarily. He's like being a hero for fun, and it's kind of like you want to do certain projects like Hero Association, which on any other circumstances wouldn't really care, but he just want to find an opportunity, whichever he can get it, just to fight stronger opponents, any which way he can. But he of course like handed Black Hole tank top his butt. He's sitting there like holding his hand, and it's like just slightly pressing. He didn't break it or anything like. Well, I probably broke it slightly, but he didn't like completely destroy his whole arm or hand. He just like just slightly broke his hand, and he's sitting there like limping off, like, sorry I'm beating up, this blah blah blah. It's like just like and he starts like crawling away inch by inch, but it was like one of those bittersweet kind of moments where it's like kind of like the hero. You see this a lot in Spider-Man comics where it's like, despite him doing like a good deed overall, it just in the nitty gritty, it's like nobody sees the bigger picture here, and they just nitpicking like what's in front of them. It is just like, is just the level of the gratitude is so low. The fact that you're alive at the very least, you have a city to come back to, so you can repair and so forth, instead of like a completely annihilated city. And it's just like the ungratefulness of it all is just like, it was just like very somber. But it's like Saitama's at the end kind of brushed it off. It is what it is to him. Eventually getting towards the end of the season, apparently the Hero Association has or had a psychic, this like old crone of a woman who's supposed to be a gifted psychic who eventually, get this, like, passed away over choking on a what was it, like a lodge, not a lozenge, but it's kind of like a breath mint or Tic Tac or something like that. It was like a like a pissy way of going out, like just like she going on choking on like a Tic Tac or something like that. Like, really? But anyway, she predicted there will be a threat within the next 6 months. She wasn't very specific, but it was like so great that, you know, the Hero Association had to call in a meeting for all the S class heroes to come in, except for a couple of them. One being this S class guy who apparently is a model in his daytime, and also like a musical artist. Oh, before we get to that, I want to mention, I didn't bring it up. The Hero Association was formed mostly because back before Saitama started doing any training, he's like was trying to find himself. He ran into, like, after he felt like a job interview, he on his way back home he ran to this. This is when he had hair. He looked so completely different when he had hair. Pretty much unrecognizable. But he ran into this kid, this like goofy chin kid who's got like a butt for a chin. No, even before he ran into the kid, he ran into this monster, this half man, half crab monster, who apparently turned to a crab because he ate too much, not crab, like a lobster or something like that. He ate too much crab or lobster and turned to this kind of monster. And he decides to, start like tracking down this kid who was making fun of him and then kill the kid. And he was going to kill Saitama, but looking in Saitama's eyes, he kind of got like a dead look in his eyes, like he has no fear or worry. He's just like, he's dead in the eyes. It's like he just doesn't care. And there's a lot with Saitama. It's like, whatever position he's in throughout the series, in one way or the other, despite achieving his goal being like stronger, and he has a new goal to try to find like someone who's equal to strength to fight. He gets it's kind of like even when you achieve your goal, it's like, well, you think you won, you're still not satisfied. He's like not satisfied with anything. And I think that's another drawback he has, is the fact that he's never satisfied with what he, aspired to. He always wants something more. He's not like a villain about it. Most villains, like Lex Luthor, always want like more instead of being happy with what he has. He's kind of like just melancholy about it. But the Crabman decided not to kill him. He's like, you're dead in the eyes anyway. I'm just gonna find this kid. Saitama finds the kid first on his way back home. And it's like, before, like, he can warn the kid, the Crabman finds them. And, not knowing what he's doing, he just instantly tries to protect this kid. Again, like, his ass handed to him. It's probably the first time and the only time you actually see Saitama getting his ass whooped. And this is when he was this normal dude. And he used his scarf to pull like the eye socket and like the crab meat inside right out of the crab man and kills him. And that's when he just decides, all right, I know what I want to do. I want to be a hero. I want to be strong to protect people. And that's when he starts his whole training thing soon after. But because of what he did, the kid he saved was the grandson of this big, I think like a businessman or something like that. And that businessman created the Hero Association in the first place to deal with threats like that, to protect other people, like this stranger did for his grandson. So anyway, uh, uh, Janos uh, earlier in the season met up with uh, this very another arrogant guy born along. Look like he can easily. I can see maybe in like season. I don't know. I didn't read the manga, but I think maybe in like season, maybe season 3 moving forward, you get to see like uh this. You can easily see this guy being like a villain, because the way he behaved himself uh at the last episode of season 1. What is that guy's name? I completely forgot. I want to avoid spoilers too. Or at least want to get the freaking guy's name. Ah, dang it. Yeah, Sweet Mass. That was his name. He's just like one of those like pretty boy pricks, and don't even know what's his freaking power. It's kind of like what's that? I'm blanking on the name of that character too. It's like one of those like arc villains in My Hero Academia when he's trying to Deku's trying to save that little girl with a horn on her head. That guy who's able to like, you know, destroy and create with each hand. Crap, what is freaking powers? Because he annihilated a bunch of aliens. That's who they was end up dealing with, as far as like that threat that was coming that the fortune teller saw. The thing is like just like physically powerful and not anything extra. But anyway, he was earlier in his he's kind of like one of those people that kind of regard. It's kind of like Virgil in Devil May Cry, where he's like he respect people with power, and he's like the lower tier S class to prevent any A class heroes moving into the S class that he doesn't deem powerful enough or skilled enough or worthy enough to be in the S class. And it's like kind of person like who do you to judge kind of situation. He just like he's just like an asshole through and through, obviously, with like very low empathy towards people he doesn't deem worthy of it. But anyway, you also get to meet like you know, I completely forgot about Tornado, because she is like she looked like it's like I mentioned in my other, I believe it was Yu-Gi-Oh or something else that I was doing like I was mentioning how like, you know, certain Japanese anime love portraying women who obviously are of age, but some of them are by physical appearance look like they could be 12 or 13 years old. She embodies that example so much. uh, Tatsumaki. I feel like, yeah, that's the name is like the first name of the Street Fighter character Ryu and Ken's hurricane kicks, Tatsumaki, uh, which means obviously tornado. Duh. Uh, the way it's like hurricane thing, but apparently she's the older sister, even though she looks like she could be. Because there was this moment where it's like, as they was all coming in, because Jones was bringing in Saitama along with them to this meeting, and she's known as Tornado of Terror. She's like the most powerful psychic, and she's like, just she's got like this attitude about her, she must be called for like these powerful attacks. So she just she took down this freaking dinosaur dragon like thing with just calling in like a meteor from the space and just like annihilating this creature into like a pile of bones. She's like so gives no fucks. But like if you look up her picture, you can easily see, Tornado of Terror. From One Punch Man. She's the oldest sister, but she looks like a freaking child. And it's like Saitama sees her as he's walking the hallway, like who's this lost child? It is like the artwork of it adds on to the funny. It is just like the dopiest drawing, and he's just pointing it at her. It's like, who's this lost child? It's like that. It's like he just like ignores her, and she gets frustrated because she's like she doesn't like being ignored. It was so just her attitude, just like, oh my god, it's so dang funny. I love that. Oh my god, like think about it, it's just like so funny, and that gets me every time. Who's this lost child? God. It's just so funny. Oh my god, it was so damn funny. And even though she's like a powerhouse, she is awesome in her own right, man. But she also has a younger sister who looks like a woman easily in her 30s, but she's actually the youngest sister. Because she's like 20. Tatsumaki's 28, and her younger sister, Fubuki, or Miss Blizzard, who comes in the next season, she's actually 23, so 5 years younger, even though she looks like they can be reverse ages. Who's also a psychic in her own right, but she's in B class. The rank 1 in B class, so very, very powerful in her own right. But as these aliens start to attack, Saitama just bolts through the ceiling onto the roof of the Hero Association building, and then jumps from there right into this big massive warship. And he is hauling ass and busting through several rooms, killing a lot of people in the process, and ripping up doors and machines and all these mechanics inside. Just ruin the interior just to find like the main hub, so you can find the boss alien, Boros. We'll get to that in a minute. But while everybody else is handling, at least like a few of the S class are handling this one of the henchmen aliens, this multiple head creature, who apparently got several marbles. It's got like at least 5 heads, each one with a marble that helps bring it together, regenerate. So you got like what is this, like you got like tornado redirecting like these look like massive bullets, but it's like they're dealing out kind of like missile like damage, and she redirects it back at because it went off one time, destroyed the surrounding area of the Hero Association, which they eventually rebuilt to uh, make many roads to go out to deploy heroes more efficiently to other cities. Excuse me. And the second time they try to fire, she redirects these massive bullets right back at the ship, further destroying it. But on the ground, this multiplated creature is dealing with Silverfang, Metalbat. I think it was Metalbat. Yeah, Metalbat, Atomic Samurai, uh, uh, yeah, and yeah, I think that was it. That was oh, and pretty prisoner. They was handling these this creature who seemingly feel like they're indestructible, but as soon as a Metalbat found out the weakness, they just annihilate. The aliens were ill prepared of because they've been going to planet to planet, wreaking havoc. But they didn't. They thought Earth would be easy target. They didn't expect or knew or didn't kind of recon on just before they landed. Which, given how advanced the technology is in this universe, I'm surprised nobody, because we got in the real world we got satellites that easily detect like meteors or whatever like that, or like that kind of thing, even before like many miles before it even comes close to Earth. So we'll easily be notified of what's going on around the planet. Of course, given alien technology, probably easily be more advanced, so we probably wouldn't detect it. But I think I don't know how slightly different that will be in this universe, given how easily they have like advanced in technology as far as dealing with massive monsters half the time. You would think they have like technology to easily detect incoming alien warcraft, but that's neither here nor there. But you got these aliens come in. The heroes are dealing with everything, down below. Oh, Genos is there as well, but he's more concerned with what's going on with Saitama while he's inside the warship. This other henchman alien, this squid-like octopus thing, was a goofy creature who tries to trick Saitama to like go in a different way instead of keep plowing through to the cockpit where he's at, and he's like, "Oh, you want out of here? Just go to your right." And then Saitama like, yeah, I think I'll take the left. And then it's like, Bucket's like, no, don't do that. And then eventually makes it up to him, and like apparently this squid creature is able to control the forces of gravity, and it's like it's an awesome display here where it's like he uses the power of gravity to like sink Saitama, but Saitama is just like he's just still standing there. The ground below him is just like sinking, making like a small crater in the floor. But he's still just standing there, and it's like non-phased. And like he's trying to throw rocks at Saitama, and Saitama's just like not phased whatsoever. It's like you don't need powers to like throw pebbles, and he's like he just flings the pebble and just like a bullet, bullseye right between the eyes of this alien, killing him instantly. Then he asks the other aliens that's around like, "Oh, where's your boss?" He meets Boros, who apparently, not unlike Saitama, he's so powerful, he wants to be able to he wants to find the thrill of battle again as well. And he wears his armor to contain his immense strength, but Saitama just with one punch blew that armor off. But for the first time, you're finally like an alien who's at least a being in general that can take one of Saitama's punches. So you get this, but the last episode of season 1, you get this cool fight between Boros and Saitama, and it's like one of my favorite shots between these two is when like Boros is chasing down Saitama, and Saitama does this, backward stride, and the way the animation is drawn, it looks amazing. Season 1, period. We'll get to the animation of season 2 when we get to it, but a lot of people didn't like it. They feel like it was like a downgrade from season 1. I get what they're talking about. It doesn't bother me too much, but I can see their point. Season 1's the art, the drawings, like everything involved with the coloring, it is superb, and like that really brings it out. Like in a shot where Saitama breaks into Boros' chambers and he's like flexing, doing his pose, and then like the way the art is displaying his tense muscles and like his serious face, and the smoke coming off his body is like cool as hell. Yeah, the animation is on par for the type of show. But then like my favorite scene, like was displayed, like the cool like drawing of the artwork is just like when he does his backward stride. It's like the whole thing is nothing to him. At least that's what it turns out to be. But it's just like he just does his backward stride, and it's such a cool motion. Just like it's like, yeah, like he's low key, he's like fucking with him, and it's like this big climactic fight, just like they just like willing on each other and just like pummeling, and like of course the villain got a second gear or a second form, and cool animation, and it's like he just like the only thing he managed to do is like tear up Saitama's costume a bit, but he knocks Saitama out of the ship into the moon, and it's like it's an impressive sound quality here. At least the display where it's like it's dead silence. Of course, in space there's no sound. It's like a very nice touch where it's like Saitama's like knows he's on the moon. He's holding his breath. It's not really suffocating. Really, he's just like just holding his breath, and it's like he messing around the moon rocks, and he's like looking up at the animation of the Earth, and he's just like massive jump seconds to get back to Earth right on top of the ship and just continuing to fight. And then like Boros is finally just decided to do his ultimate move to which a move apparently annihilate planets, and not only Saitama nullifies it, he does this, well, what he calls his ultimate move, serious punch, because he does have like names for his own punches, essentially. What is it? Before I get to the ultimate move, he where was it? Oh, here we go. Normal series. Saitama's normal series consists of techniques in which he puts very little effort into attacking. He knows attacking are loose in the style of most opponents tend to is just like this regular normal punch. And then he got consecutive normal punches where he's like volley at quick single-handed punches, just like it's kind of like once again JoJo's Bizarre Adventure is kind of like Star Platinum's Auras, but instead of like both of his hands, Saitama just uses one hand to do like a aura move, rapid punches, and turns. At first, he turns Boros into paste before Boros regenerates back into his body from bloodstains, mind you. And then, like I said, his quote unquote ultimate move, but it's not really ultimate move because Boros mentions, because Boros mentions he was still holding back despite the display of power Saitama is putting out. He apparently was still holding back. That wasn't even his full scale display of power. His ultimate, quote unquote, ultimate move is Serious Punch, where he throws an extremely powerful punch. The full extent of this attack is unknown, as it's never directly hit an opponent, but is powerful enough to completely negate Boros' collapsing star roaring cannon and a beam capable of wiping out an entire planet. The shockwave from the punch alone was powerful enough to part the clouds on a global scale, which was awesome, by the way, as well as deliver the final fatal blow to Boros. And Boros mentions like that. Yeah, even then he was still holding back from the punch, from his display of power. But Saitama still had apparently had a good time fighting this guy. Because technically, even though technically he was holding back, Boros was still manages to handle more than one punch from him, technically. But I'm curious to see what next level big bad of this series, probably in season 3, whenever we'll get that, of seeing Saitama handle somebody who can hang with him a bit, and see that kind of big fight between the two, where we can see another display of an awesome feat from Saitama. But I freaking love this series, and the hype was right on point. I love this. I eventually will get to season 2 and do a full spoiler review of that. But damn, do I love this series. And yeah, there's definitely a lot to talk about in season 2. Another threats. Another you know how I mentioned how Speed of Sound Sonic is getting, feel like he at this point kind of getting trolled by Saitama. There's another character who is probably even a bigger threat than even Speed of Sound Sonic, who was hinted at by Silverfang being one of his better students, who kind of went not crazy, but just went down the villain route. We'll talk about him later, but he is kind of another major threat in season 2. I did read some of the manga of One Punch Man, so I know a little bit of what's going on ahead of time, at least a little bit beyond season 2. But I really am looking forward to even talking about that with you guys. But he's definitely someone to talk about. He's an awesome character in his own right, and a very interesting backstory, and a very interesting twist as far as how he perceives the reverse of what Deku sees All Might and the heroes of My Hero Academia. This guy is the reverse of that, where he kind of looks up to monsters, which is very interesting. But yeah, that is my spoiler review of season 1 of One Punch Man. I'm going to be wrapping up. I'm going to be binge watching the final season of Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Monsters before we get into Yu-Gi-Oh! GX. And then, of course, wrapping up eventually after that, Jackie Chan Adventures Season 5, the final season. And then, of course, get into One Punch Man Season 2. I will start soon after JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. That's going to be a long-running season reviews coming up. But yeah, eventually I'll wrap up some... once I wrap up my walkthrough of Horizon Zero Dawn and Final Fantasy X, which you can see on my channel, my full walkthroughs. Once those wrapped up, I'll have a little bit more time to spend with doing more reviews for movies and TV shows. And maybe like, I can just, while I'm waiting for Horizon Zero Dawn 2 and God of War to eventually come out, because they're the only two that's coming up soon that I'll be doing a new walkthroughs for. All the other games that I'm looking forward to, like Gotham Knights and Suicide Squad game, that's some point next summer, maybe. So it's going to be kind of light with walkthroughs eventually, so that gives me more time to handle certain reviews. So look forward to those. Don't forget to leave a like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff to Talkative Carl on YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter. Follow me on my Patreon. That's patreon.com/talkativecarl if you want to find out anything else that I'm doing and other requests so far as like TV shows or movies that you want me to review. I will definitely put you on the list, make that priority, and put that out and give you a nice little shout out and all other sorts of bonuses too. So please check that out. Share this with your friends and family, whoever is a fan of One Punch Man especially, and all my other reviews that's on the channel, share those as well. And I will see you guys soon for more discussion videos coming up, usually every Friday. So